Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to talk about a few things that I like to throw in the summer fishing shallow. And I'm talking shallow like a foot and a half deep in these rivers, looking for bass, and of course, the occasional bowfin every now and then. So I'll show you one of the first things that I really enjoy throwing for shallow water. It would have to be a small little square bill crankbait. The reason I like these square bill crankbaits is because, for one, they float, and two, they don't run very deep, and they have a real wide sporadic wobble, especially depending on how you work this bait. If you work it with a pause, if you reel it real fast, you work it with a jerking motion, it's going to all react different with this square bill. Now, and a very important thing about throwing these little lightweight lures is finding a good rod that is compatible with lightweight lures. And for that, I use the Cast King Square Bill Speed Demon Pro crankbait rod. This is a 6'8" rod that is made just for throwing lightweight baits. The reason that it's specifically designed for light baits is the tip on this rod is very soft. It's got a very soft, very flexible tip on it. The reason for that is most of the time these fish come up behind this square bill from behind, and you don't want to, of course, yank that hook out of the fish's mouth. So with this tip being soft like this, it helps the hookup ratio a little better. Now, the reel that I like to use is this Cast King Bassinator. It's a 6.6 to 1. It casts very well for throwing lightweight lures. I run the 40-pound braid on here with a 10-pound to 15-pound durable end leader. Now, the trick with any bait caster, and this will help a lot with the bait caster for throwing these lightweight lures, is always try to get, when you do the cast, try to get the line guide in the center of the spool. That way, when you're casting this lightweight lure, it allows the line to feed off of that spool more evenly since it's in the center. If it's on one side or the other, it's going to pull the line at a harder angle, and which is going to cause more backlashes and not accurate casting. And you see that cast perfect on that. I like to work it like a stop pause, reel pause kind of motion, and that way it's almost like working a jerk bait. But when you're working this real shallow water like this, you can't really do a constant retrieve because it will end up hitting the bottom and getting snagged every now and then. And then let's go to another one of my little slower techniques that I like to use. Of course, no summer fishing in the shallows is complete without your little crawfish. Crawfish it's probably the bass's favorite food. The slower you work that crawfish, usually it'll work better, because crawfish in the wild don't really move fast. They just kind of skimmy across the bottom and look for food. Usually fishing a crawfish, you get that distinctive thump when a bass will hit it, and usually I'll let it sit just for a second after I feel that thump, and then I'll set the hook just to make sure he's got it. And a lot of times with fishing pretty much any bait, when you're fishing in a river, I like to cast upstream and work that bait back to me downstream, because that's the normal flow of the food. You know, the food's going to be bouncing downriver, so those fish are going to be waiting, looking upstream waiting for that food to come right by them. Don't be afraid to change up colors. If a darker color is not working, go a little lighter until you find that sweet spot, because it all really depends on the day. On real sunny days, you're going to have better luck with different colors than you are on cloudy, gloomy, rainy days. For me, I've always had best luck with cloudy days using darker colors, sunny days using more naturals like the pumpkins and the watermelons. But it all depends on the water clarity also. And then, last but not least, this is probably one of my favorite setups. This setup, you can work it fast, you can work it slow, you can work it deep, shallow. It's basically a wacky rig modified a little bit. I used a wacky worm with a 3/0 wide gap hook, but I screwed in a little willow leaf on the back side of this worm. What that does is it just gives it a little flash, gives it a little bit more action for the fish. And the nice thing with this setup is you can run this fast, you can run it slow, you can drag it on the bottom, you can throw it in the lily pads. This little willow really gives this worm the little oomph that it needed to really catch more fish. And say with that worm, you can run a weight in the front or no weight in the front. It changes the action of the worm a little bit. With those 3 setups right there, you're guaranteed pretty much to catch something fishing shallow water. So I hope that helps. I hope you guys enjoy your day out fishing. I hope you enjoyed the video. You guys have a great day, and remember, catch and release, let them go, let them grow.